Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we've got my John Deere in here, 755. It's got a Yanmar 3-cylinder diesel in it. We're going to set the valves, check and set them anyways. I believe the interval is like 300 hours on these engines. This one's got 1100 on it. The nuts that hold the valve cover down have never been messed with. The paint is still on them, so I'm pretty sure it's never been apart. It's probably due. It does run good. It's new to me. I don't have many hours on this tractor myself. I haven't put many on, but it seems a little lacking. I mean, it's only a 20 horse. It just seems to bog down easy, but we don't know until we get into it and have a look. A little bit of a side note. Got myself a GoPro. Now, it's not new. It's a Hero 7 black. But I'm going to try and get a little bit better close-ups without taking the main camera off the stand. It's big, bulky with cords and stuff. This one should be a lot easier to get in there and see some details. So we'll be jumping back and forth. Now I got to tell you, the audio on that GoPro is terrible. It's horrible. But we'll fight through it. I do have an adapter on the way, so I can run a mic on it, but we'll get to that. So anyways, sit tight for the intro. Back in 10 seconds. Well, let's get into it a little bit here. I've got the side covers off, both sides. Hood's open. It's not in the way, so we're going to leave it on there. We got to get this cover off of here, which means I got to remove the stuff on top. So we got a rubber hose that just pulls out of the front. This is the air intake, goes to the air cleaner assembly. And there's 4 bolts on this bracket to hold it on, and 1 hose clamp. Well, there's a hose clamp at the top and 1 at the bottom. We're just going to take the one off because it's only need to take one off. We'll take the hose off with the other side. We got the hose clamp loose. Okay, that should slide out of our way. Timing marks are on this side. You need those to get your engine timed up where you need to be to set your valve lash. And valve lash has to be set on a cold engine. I mean, there's no temperature that it has to be. It's just not run. So this has been sitting in the warm garage for a while in the shop, but it hasn't been run in a couple of days. So that's what you need. Get these 4 out of here. Okay, so we got that all loose. This should slide right off of here. It does. Be careful, don't drop anything down in there. What else? Well, we got a little bit of wiring. Nothing too crazy, actually. Nothing's too much in the way. Everything is old and stiff though, because it's an old tractor. There's a breather tube on the top of this. Oh, there's a engine number and stuff I hadn't seen before because I haven't had the air cleaner off before. Yanmar. Oh, serial number, model number. So this is a 3TNA72, so it's 3 cylinders. And it's 20 horse-ish. That's what it's rated at. Now this is a big steel bracket here. I'm hoping, it's kind of over the cover here, but I'm hoping I don't have to get that off. This here may be a challenge. It's a hard plastic hose. It may split on us. I don't know. I'm going to try first with needle nose pliers. on either side of the little barb that it fits on. Let's see if it even moves. Oh, it turns, but it's hard plastic, so sometimes you'll need a heat gun to put these things back on, warm them up, get them a little more pliable. It's moving. There we go. Yeah, it was a non-issue. 2 bolts. Looks like 12 millimeters. You see the oil filled cap here. There's another one on the side over on the injector pump. It's easier to access with the air cleaner on. 12 mil. Handy dandy DeWalt impact. Shouldered nut with an O-ring. I do have a valve cover gasket on order. It's not in yet. We'll get the little rubber seal off with it. I'll rubber seal off this one so we don't lose it. You know what? They're a little flat, but they weren't leaking. I did not order new ones, but it's just an O-ring. I can fit an O-ring in there. I have an assortment. Okay. Trying to make sure that most of the dirt and crap is off of this thing. Let's give it a little bit of a knock with a rubber mallet. See if we can get her to crack loose. There she is. And loose that way. It appears the bracket is in the way. Dang it. Oh, it's in there pretty good. A couple of bolts holding on. A couple? Maybe more. Looks like 2, but don't think I'm going to be able to get that out of there. Nope. Nope. Okay, let me get this bracket out of here. Just looks like a couple of 10 mil bolts back here. Nope, there's at least 4. Of course there is. And no room to get at anything. All right, let me fight with that. We'll come back in a couple of seconds here. Well, I won. Me being the way I am, refused to take that off, so I just covered everything up real well and went in there with my Dremel tool with a carbide bit on it and just gently relieved the back of this bracket. I took maybe a 1/16 of an inch off it, maybe. But it's not going to hurt the structure of it. I got the nuts off here. This should wiggle out now. There. That's all it took. Why the bracket couldn't have been built slightly different, I don't know. Nothing terrible going on in there. We got there's our gasket, seal, O-ring. I don't know what John Deere calls it, but it's this thing. I'm not going to take it off yet. I'm just going to leave that. Put it over here on top of all the other junk on the desk. All right, so. Yep, they're little valves. Where are we sitting right now? What's loose? Number 3. So number 1 on this engine is down the back here. 1, 2, and 3. There's clearance on 3, intake and exhaust. That'll be our intake valve, exhaust, intake, exhaust, intake, exhaust. Yep, that's what it looks like to me. So I got timing marks over here. The engine is lined up on the marks, but it's not on number 1 top dead center. There's, you know what, there's a few ways to do this, but let's just go by the book here for once for once on the channel. I'm going to pop you out of stand. I'll bring you over here. I'll show you what the timing marks look like. We're going to roll it over one turn, complete revolution. And once that happens, it'll get back on top dead center. But I'll show you. Hang on. Okay, here's our marks. No, we're not on the GoPro because I don't like the audio on it. This is the fixed mark on the shield. That is the timing mark. So that you can see, well, it's way washed out. So there's this one here. It's a line with a 1 beside it. Then there's this line up here. We're not going to pay attention to that line. We just want to make sure that this line here is lined up with this line here. But it's not correct yet. We got to flip it over 1 full turn until those marks line up again. Then number 1 should be on top dead center. Well, this is what we got to work with. This camera angle. All right, so I flipped the engine over and got the timing marks lined up. Number 1, top dead center. Number 1 being the back of the engine on this one. And on the compression stroke, there's a little bit of play there. So according to the manual, we should be able to set this one, this one, this one, and this one, and roll it over 1 more turn, which we could have done in the first place, but anyways. Roll it over a full turn. These ones will be starting to lift, and this will be on top dead center. So we're gonna do these first, the way it is. Let's see if I can get in there. So listen, your spec is 8 thou. How do I get in there without blocking you guys? Come on, get. Yep, blocked. Everything's blocked. Everything is just, well, there we go. Oh, that's a little, I can't even see now. Hey, try from this side, the other side. Now I can't see what you can see. Forget it. We're gonna go to a different one. Start here. That one actually has a perfect amount of tension. We're gonna leave that one. Let's move on. This one? Oh, that's sloppy. Loose. So we will loosen our lock nut. Gently snug the adjusting screw. Gently. More than that. That's not bad. A little bit of snugness. Now let's see what happens. Sometimes when you tighten the lock nuts, they either go looser or tighter. We don't know. So we'll hold the screw the best we can. Oh, don't bump the camera now. Snug that screw up, or the nut. Let's see. Oh, I like that. That tension's nice. That one's good. We can do number 1. That's very loose. Yeah, let's get that one. It's a little snug on the feeler on the blade. I'm not pushing any tension on the adjuster. Now let's hold that. Tighten the nut up again. Let's see. Oh, far too tight. I mean, obviously they wear loose. They don't wear tight, they wear loose. So it would have worn looser, but let's not start off out of spec, shall we? There you go, perfect. Back one. That one's very loose. Way loose. I don't think these have ever been done. But, I mean, they're not, like, yeah, they're loose, but they're not falling off loose. Like, if you leave a Briggs & Stratton for 1,100 hours before setting these things, the thing won't even run. I don't think I got it. Now it's still too loose. Now it's too tight. Mm-hmm. Messing with the friction of the nut on the adjuster and the screw head at the same time. Oh, that's nice. A little snug, but that's fine. That one's set. That one's perfect. That one's nice. Never even touched it, really. Never needed, don't need it, it's fine. That one's good. Okay, so I'm gonna rotate the engine over because I can. You guys can watch. Just using a combination of the fan and the bolts on the flywheel here to get this turned over in the normal rotation. Normal engine rotation. Sometimes that matters if it's got a timing chain. It'll slop one way or another. It does slightly change things. So if you do go past your mark, back it up a bit back the other side, and then sneak up on it in the normal rotation again. Should be getting there soon. Yeah, there we go. Almost there. You guys can't see the marks, but I can. And stop. There we go. So this one and this one now we can adjust. You see this one is down, down, up, down, up, down, up. So we're going to set that one, and we're going to set this one. Before we loosen it off, I want to check to see where it's at. Loose. Oh, you're not seeing that one. I'll get you bumped up a little. There you go. How's that? Okay. Well, it's just a little loose. Not terrible. None of these were terrible. They're all loose, but they're all like, I expected worse, basically. Having this many hours over at service. That was just such a small amount to adjust. It went from loose to too tight immediately. It's too snug. Try not to bump the camera. That feels about right. Let's move back to this one. It's not too bad. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a work of art right there. Nice. Okay. Let's get you back in the stand. Field trip's over. Well, here's a little extra footage for you. I got, actually, after the video was wrapped up, I just haven't gone through post and done the editing yet, but I ended up getting my mic adapter for the GoPro, so it's installed now, and that's what we're using. I went ahead and I checked the glow plugs in this tractor because they're old. It's 25 years old. They're original. They still had the paint on them, so I figured I'd check them out. And the spec on these, you measure them with an ohm meter.
These are your glow plugs. The spec is 1.36 to 1.5 or something ohms. So let's just say 1.3 to 1.5 ohms. Well, let's check these out. Oh, I should mention, these are all ganged together with one connector. So there's a main power wire that comes in. It sits on one of them. I think it's this one actually. Main power wire comes in, and that shares the power to all three. So to ohm these out, you actually have to disconnect them. Now, you don't have to pull the glow plugs out of the engine to do this. As long as you take this wire off, you're going to check with your meter. You're going to check from the terminal to ground. So you can check on the engine block. You can check on the negative battery terminal. It doesn't matter. These happen to be out because I took them out, and they're not right. So let's check this one first. See the yellow band here? This one here is usable. It's out of spec, but it's usable. So I'm going to hang on to that one just in case, because I'm like that. These two are rubbish. I've already ordered 3. They should be here in a couple of days. So we're set on ohms. This meter is auto ranging. Right now it's showing mega ohms, but let's see what shows up when we check it. Give it a second. 13.4 ohms. So it's 10 times more than it should have. Rubbish. Next. This one is measuring 0.9 mega ohms. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but there's a little M beside the ohms symbol here. So that's mega ohms. Way out. This is the last one. This is the one we're going to probably hang on to just for emergency purposes. 0.9 ohms. This one's close. It's close to being in spec, but if I'm going to put 2 brand new ones in there, I'm going to put 3 brand new ones in there. They're like, I don't know, 14 bucks a piece. They're not expensive. Anyways, I just wanted to jump in here and give you a little detail in case you guys are working on diesels.
Well, guys, there's not much more to say about that one. She's done. It was easy, straightforward maintenance. Hardest part is getting the valve cover off. Got a gasket on order. Be a couple of days before that comes in. So I'm not going to put it together on video. Anyways, 8 thou in the intake, 8 thou exhaust. It was a little out, not terrible. While I was under there tinkering, I did put an ohm meter across the glow plugs, and I found they're a little not right. So I ordered a set of glow plugs for it. I mean, it was starting okay. In the cold, it didn't like to start too well, so I would throw the block heater on for about half an hour or so, and it would fire up okay. But for what the cost, I'll throw a set of glow plugs in the thing and I won't have to worry about it. Anyways, we're going to close this video out here. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you do subscribe, give the bell a dingle. It'll let you know when I upload new stuff. Till the next one, take care.